Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the daily Takkar Rapid Series class number 47 dated 29th of July 2023. In today's discussion we are going to cover 10 important MCQs for the prelims exam. Along with this, we are also going to show you those topics that are relevant, right, from the UPSC Prelims previous year questions. So let us start the discussion with this. So we will start the discussion with a quote, and this quote basically talks about a very important connotation which says, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Okay, so many a times you might have noticed in your own life as well that sometimes somewhere some injustice is happening, that this injustice is happening, but you choose to stay silent. It simply means you are giving the side, or you are taking the side of the oppressor. Okay, so it is expected from the people who have, let's say, some kind of conscience, people with having moral values, that they should, let's say, stand up against injustice, right? So this thought or this quote you can, let's say, quote in your essay paper. You can, let's say, mention it as part of your ethics answers as well. If you remember this one, you can also mention while writing any answer to a question in any other paper as well. It can be relevant to your optional subject that you are reading, right? So this quote, this thought has been given by this person, Desmond Tutu. Okay, so with this, let us start the discussion for today's session. So in today's class, we are going to cover these 10 topics. Okay, name of the topics are mentioned. The term Ureilite, then digital payment index. We are going to cover tiger reserves. We are going to understand about revamped distribution sector scheme. We are going to understand about the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill 2023. We are also going to understand about a cross scheme, right? Then we are going to learn about the India AI, India Artificial Intelligence. Then we are going to solve a question on Anubhava Mantapa. Then we are going to take a question on urea gold. We are going to understand about a new variety of urea, which is urea gold. Then we are going to understand about Fragile X syndrome, where we will understand about what kind of syndrome it is, what kind of disease does this syndrome affect, right, a person with. So let's start the discussion. So here on the left hand side, we have the question for today's discussion. On the right hand side, we have a relevant previous year question. Okay, so this previous year question, so let us go through it quickly. It says the group of small pieces of rocks revolving around the sun between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter are called as, right, a small amount of rocks that revolve around the sun between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. They are known as asteroid, and the belt that comprises of asteroid, it is known as asteroid belt. Okay, so this is a previous year question. Now let us take a question similar to that one, right? So it says, which of the following statements best describe the term Ureilite? Okay, this term you might be hearing it for the first time, but this has been in news, and it is a very significant term which is related to, let's say, asteroids itself. Okay, so asteroids, or let's say meteor. So it's they have given 4 options. We need to identify which of them is right. So it is a rare type of stony meteorite that has a unique mineralogical composition. Okay, so this question is related to this thing. I mean, this term Ureilite is a kind of stony meteorite. Why we have taken this question? Because recently, this has been noticed by some scientists that Madhya Pradesh has a famous it has a famous Dhala impact crater. You might be knowing, let's say volcano eruption happens from somewhere, and on the top of volcano, right, on the top of volcano we have a kind of opening. Let's say this is known as crater. Okay, similarly, kind of opening like that. So meteorite crater created Madhya Pradesh famous Dhala impact crater. Okay, so recently a study was conducted by some of the scientists, right, and the scientists are from India as well as elsewhere, from Switzerland as well. Okay, so these scientists have discovered a kind of crater, and they have identified that this crater was created by a meteorite. Meteorite means a kind of object that falls on the surface of the earth and impacts and creates some impact on the ground, right? So that is meteorite. So with this, we will take another question quickly. Also, you can download the explanation. You can download the explanation from the YouTube video itself. So we have given the detailed explanation over here. The correct answer is option A in this case. With this, like, we will take another question quickly. It says, Atal, so we will first go through the previous year question, which says, Atal Innovation Mission is set up under the, okay, they have given multiple options, right? So Atal Innovation Mission was set up under the Niti Aayog. So answer is option C in this case. We will take a question related to it. It is related to the Digital Payment Index, right? So this question is question number 2. It says, with reference to the Digital Payment Index, consider the following statements. Now in the first statement, they have talked about which organization releases this index. Is it released by Niti Aayog? No. The Digital Payment Index is released by the Reserve Bank of India. It is released by RBI, okay? The Digital Payment Index is released by the Reserve Bank of India. So that's why statement 1 is incorrect. Second statement says it comprises 3 parameters to measure the deepening and penetration of digital payments over different time periods, right? So when we talk about digital payment, right? Digital payment, like initially when the government of India, let's say, announced that we will go cashless, then we had Digital India Mission. Then they have launched the Bhim app. So initially people were adopting to the changes, and people have started using, let's say, UPI payment gateways also. For example, Bhim, Paytm, etc. So the digital payment once started, people started adopting, and slowly and gradually it is penetrating into the country. And for calculating the digital payment index, the Reserve Bank of India has created a list of 5 parameters. Okay, it's not 3. There are 5 parameters like that the Reserve Bank of India, let's say, take into account while creating the digital payment index. So the correct answer for this question is, here they're asking which of the above statements are correct. Correct answer would be option D, neither 1 nor 2, means like both of them are incorrect. So that's why option D would be the right answer in our case, right? We have also included a solution to this here itself, right? So we will go through it. It says RBI's digital payment index jumps to 395.57 in March from 377.46 in September. Means the digital payment index, like, it has risen. More number of digital payments are happening in India. Okay, so that's the thing. You can go through the news item itself, right, to understand more about it. And they have covered 5, let's say, like, 5 such parameters. Okay, it has 5 parameters for calculation of digital payment index. So this is the solution here. Like it says, it is released by the Reserve Bank of India, and then it comprises of 5 parameters. What are those 5 parameters? These parameters are, let's say, like, payment enablers account. One is payment enablers. Second is payment infrastructure from demand side. Then we have payment infrastructure from the supply side. Then we have like payment performance, right, as one of the category. Then consumer centricity as other. So there are 5 parameters that the Reserve Bank of India, let's say, take into account for calculation of the digital payments index. It is important that you remember the name of this index, right, and also the organization that releases this. So with this, let us come to another question. We will see the, let's say, previous year question first, then like we will solve this question. Okay, so it says, among the following tiger reserves, which one has the largest area under critical tiger habitat? Okay, so this question has been asked by UPSC in 2020. The correct answer is option C, which is Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam. This Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So with this, like we will see a relevant topic from current affairs, right? So this is a question that says consider the following pairs. So on one side they have given the name of tiger reserves, and on the other side they have given the locations where these tiger reserves are located. So it says Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. TR in short stands for Tiger Reserve, right, for our understanding. So this Ranthambore Tiger Reserve is located not in Gujarat, but it is located in the state of Rajasthan. Okay, it is in the state of Rajasthan. So first is incorrectly matched. Okay. Second, Nagarjun Sagar Sri Shailam Tiger Reserve. This is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Second one is right. Third, Nameri Tiger Reserve. This Nameri Tiger Reserve is not located in Odisha, but it is located in the state of Assam. Okay. So third is also incorrect. Fourth, Achanak Ma Tiger Reserve. This is located not in the state of Madhya Pradesh, but it is located in the state of Chhattisgarh. Okay, it is located in the state of Chhattisgarh. So fourth is also incorrect. So correct option would be only one is rightly matched, which is Nagarjun Sagar Sri Shailam, which is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So with this, we will move to the next topic quickly. Okay, next topic. I hope you understood. This is match the following type of thing. So why it was important? Because recently we have celebrated International Tiger Day 2023. We have celebrated International Tiger Day. Just a minute. All right. So International Tiger Day was celebrated. You might be knowing that more than 70% of the world's tiger population resides in India. So India has the largest amount of population of tiger in India. So for this, like we have Project Tiger, and recently the Prime Minister of India has also, let's say, talked in our meeting, right? Prime Minister of India has interacted with the let's say environment ministers of G20 countries, right? In that environment ministers meeting, he has talked about that, he has talked about Project Tiger of India, that like we have more than 70% of the world population of tiger in India. And apart from this, he has also highlighted about Project Lion, Project Dolphin, Namami Gange projects, etc. So that's why this topic is very important. Now, you can go through this particular, let's say, news item to understand about International Tiger Day. And it marks a significance because like India has the highest population of tiger. It is because of the conservation efforts that have been taken by the central government and also, right, and also state governments in India. So these are, let's say, 53 tiger reserves that are located in India. We have 53 tiger reserves in India. So in this map, like, all those tiger reserves along with their states is mentioned. In your free time, you can go through it. And so like, correct answer, correctly matched pair is mentioned over here. I have already explained. So in your free time, you can download the PDF and go through it, right? So with this, like we have another question for you. So it says, this question is UPSC Prelims 2016 PYQ. Which one of the following is a purpose of Uday scheme? You might have heard about this, that this Uday scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister of India in 2016, right? So this is related to providing for financial turnaround and revival of power distribution companies, right? Many power distribution companies have been making losses because of many things. One of the aspect of making losses is highly regulated sector. This power sector is highly regulated by the government of India. And apart from this, like, pricing is also regulated by the government of India. Apart from this, there are transmission losses that happen, right? Transmission losses. During transmission, a lot of energy gets lost. And also, there is a issue of rising theft of power, right? In rural areas, in urban areas, in hamlets, many places, like, theft of power also happens. So power distribution companies have been making losses, right? So that's why the government of India has launched Uday scheme for revival of the power sector, right? So this question is related to that topic itself, and it is very important because it has been in current affairs. So we will go through this question. It says, with reference to the revamped distribution sector scheme. In short, RDSS, revamped distribution sector scheme. Consider the following statements. First of all, we need to understand that like power distribution companies are separate than the power generation companies. Some companies that generate power in huge amount. For example, there are many nuclear power stations also, but like, there will be some private companies as well that are involved in the distribution of power to, let's say, different areas, right? So power distribution companies have been making losses, and for that, the government of India is coming up with one or other solution. One of the solution is revamped distribution sector scheme. So we will go through all these statements. The first statement says, it aims to reduce aggregate technical and commercial losses. Definitely, I mean, like, this particular scheme wants to reduce the aggregate technical and commercial losses. Technical losses means losses during propagation of power, the wiring losses, etc., which is also known as attenuation, right? Commercial losses means theft of power, right? There can be other commercial losses also. So this statement is right. Second statement, it says, India Electrification Corporation, IFC, is the nodal agency for the implementation of this scheme. It is not India Electrification Corporation. There are, let's say, like, more than one entities that are acting as a nodal agency for it. I'm going to discuss about their names also, right? Third, this scheme will be operational for 5 years, okay? So this statement also we need to see. So you need to identify how many of these statements, right? How many of the above statements are right? You need to, let's say, identify. So for this question, only 2 statements are right. Which 2 statements? The first and third statements, okay? First and third means option B would be the right answer, right? First and third are right. So what is the name of the nodal agency for this revamped distribution sector scheme? So, and before that, like, so this is the solution for this question. We'll go through the solution. What are the names of those entities like who are involved in this? So they are Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electrification Corporation functions as the nodal agencies for the implementation of this revamped distribution sector scheme, okay? First statement is right, that we have already discussed. Third statement is also right, and additional information is also given over here. You can go through it in your free time, right? And also why we have asked this question is because recently the Kerala government, okay, Kerala trade unions have opposed the power sector revamped scheme, okay? This scheme is a central government scheme, so it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So the government of India is, let's say, trying to push for this scheme. However, like, some trade unions from the state of Kerala, they have opposed for the implementation of this scheme. They are against the implementation of this scheme. So with this, like, we will go to another question. We will solve this question. This question is related to the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill 2023, right? Before we see this question, we will see this question. Like, we will see this question. It says, it is a previous year question. It says, as per the recent amendment to India Forest Act 1927, forest dwellers have the right to fell bamboos grown on the forest areas. This is not right. As per the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act, bamboo is a minor forest produce. This was in news that time in 2019. There was a notification by the central government, and they said that, like, this includes bamboo is a minor forest produce. Apart from this, the Scheduled Tribes and other traditional forest dwellers Recognition of Forest Right Act 2006 allows ownership of minor forest produce for the forest dwellers. So which of these statements are right? Option B is right in this case, okay? So this was a previous year question which is based on the rights of the forest dwellers, the Forest Rights Act, we simply say 2006 Forest Rights Act. So this question is related to that, the question that we have framed. Why? Because recently the central government of India has come up with a notification that they want to amend the Forest Conservation Act 1980. And related to this act, right, there have been many opposition from different parties and from many, let's say, conservationists, okay, many forest conservationists, they have been opposing this particular bill. As of now, the central government has, let's say, passed it through the Lok Sabha. So this act, this amendment bill, Forest Conservation Amendment Bill, has been passed through the Lok Sabha, and they have also, let's say, renamed the act. They have renamed it as Van Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiniyam. Okay. Apart from this, it has many other provisions, so that we are going to solve through the question. Okay. So it says the land within 100 km of India's border is excluded from the purview of the act. This is right. This statement is right. It means like India has international border. If you just can imagine the boundary of India, in the international border of India, right, in the international border, up to 100 kilometers from the international border, the government of India want to, let's say, establish some kind of strategic infrastructure for defense purposes or for other purposes. And for that, they have given some exemptions, right, under this amendment bill. So this is talking about that thing, means like government of India can do some kind of construction activities of roads, of defense establishments within a border, let's say, like distance of 100 kilometers from the border area. So this is a right statement. Second, the state government requires prior approval of the central government to assign any forest land to a private entity. This statement is also right. The state governments need prior approval from the central government to assign, right, any forest land to a private entity. This is also right. Third, it says the bill prohibits running zoos and safaris in the forest areas. This statement is incorrect. This bill allows, okay, this particular bill allows running zoos and safaris in the forest areas, and that's why people are protesting. People are saying that they are going to meddle with the Forest Conservation Act 1980. And also the Supreme Court of India has given a judgment in 1996 that is known as Godavarman case. There the Supreme Court of India has told that the definition of forest will be considered as per the dictionary definition of forest. However, in 1980 Act, 1980 Act, that original Forest Conservation Act, there was a provision that forests will be considered as forests that are notified by the central government or state government as forest, and also that have been classified by different government notifications as forest. So Godavarman case of the Supreme Court of India has increased the ambit of protection by giving dictionary definition to the definition of forest. However, this particular act, what it does, it, let's say, tries to meddle with the Godavarman case of the Supreme Court of India. It tries to nullify that particular thing, and it also allows, right, running zoos and safaris in the forest area for recreation purposes, okay, for recreation and other purposes. So that's why the third statement is incorrect. Here they say how many of the above statements are correct. So only 2 of the above statements are correct. So option B will be the right answer, right? So with this, we will move to the next topic, and also we have included the solution, right, to all these questions in the PDF itself. You can download this PDF from the description of the YouTube video. Okay. So why it is this question has been framed? Because Lok Sabha has passed Forest Conservation Amendment Bill. Okay, so that's why it was in news. So you can go through the solution in your free time. Now we will take another question. Okay, we'll take another question. It says, this is a UPSC previous year question of 2005. It says, under which of the following ministries of the government of India does the Food and Nutrition Board work? Okay, it comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, Food and Nutrition Board. It comes under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is a previous year question. Now let us see a recent topic related to it. Okay, it is very important that you keep your preparation at par with UPSC trends. So that's why we have been framing questions that are in line, in sync with UPSC standards. Right? So let us see this question. It says, in the context of the across scheme, okay, across scheme, consider the following statements. Okay, It pertains to the atmospheric science program of the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, this statement is right. Okay, so this first word is atmospheric. Okay, atmospheric thing. So it is related to the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Second, the scheme aims to provide improved weather and climate forecast and services, but does not cover ocean forecast. Okay, this statement is incorrect, I think. Okay, so correct answer would be, should be, like, option A1 only. Let's see. A, right. So here only statement 1 is right, statement 2 is incorrect. So option A is the right answer. And let's see like why we have asked a question from across scheme. Because there was a PIB article, Press Information Bureau. In Press Information Bureau, this article was there. They have directly mentioned about across scheme. It was posted in PIB on July 26th. So it says Atmospheric and Climate Research Modeling Observation System, right? What is the name of the system? Atmospheric and Climate Research Modeling Observation System and Services. This is the full form of across scheme. This is an umbrella scheme in the central sector. It pertains to atmospheric science programs of the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, so they have mentioned about progress that are made under across scheme, because recently one of the minister was asked a question in the Parliament of India, and that minister has responded in written, right, that what progress they have made under the across scheme. Okay, so this across scheme is related to Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, it is related to Ministry of Earth Sciences. So that's why all these statements are, let's say, correct with respect to this question. Okay, so I mean here these are the progress that were made, and this is the solution to this scheme. Why the second statement is incorrect? Second statement is incorrect because this scheme will provide improved weather, climate and ocean forecast to and services. This could include, warning for cyclones, storm surges, heat waves, thunderstorms, etc. So it also includes, let's say, oceanic forecast as well. Okay, oceanic forecast is also included. So that's why second statement was incorrect. Now we have another question. This question is also very, very important. Now, so we will see this question. Let's say, UPSC has given a kind of a statement, right? This answer key is related to UPSC. UPSC has given this answer key, which is option B for this question. Here, I think the second should be also right. So this question is related to artificial intelligence, right? So we are going to go through this question. It says, with the present state of development, they are talking about present state of development, because artificial intelligence can develop much better in future. There can be newer technologies through artificial intelligence. So they are asking about with reference to present state of, right, development in artificial intelligence. So this question was asked in 2020. Artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? So they have given multiple options. Bring down electric consumption in industrial unit. Definitely, using artificial intelligence, you can regulate, right, the switches, in the sense that if something is not in use, the artificial intelligence can turn off this thing. So it will bring down the electricity consumption in industrial units. And also, it can help in disease diagnostic also. Like we are using AI in disease diagnostics. It can also do text to speech conversion. Apart from this, it can create meaningful stories as well. However, in UPSC answer key, they have not given this thing, right? So this answer is little bit dicey. Okay, wireless transmission of electrical energy. Although wireless transmission of electrical energy is possible, but that is through a different mechanism altogether, right? Artificial intelligence is not playing a role in that case. In future, there can be use of artificial intelligence also for transmission of electrical energy, right? Electrical energy. So that can happen, but electrical energy can be transferred. So there are mechanisms, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic conduction, right? Induction, you might have heard about it, right? So that's the case. Now let us see this question related to it. This question is based on artificial intelligence as a theme, okay? So let us read this question. It says, consider the following statements about India AI, about India artificial intelligence. It says, It is the National Artificial Intelligence Portal of India for promoting collaboration with various NASA projects in AI and robotic technology. See, up to this is right. National Artificial Intelligence Portal, definitely, but not for promoting NASA, projects in AI. That's the thing. Second, it is a joint initiative of the Indian Space Research Organization, National Aeronautics, and so it is not related to ISRO. Okay, it is not a project of ISRO. That's the thing. Third, it is the first step towards Central Knowledge Hub on artificial intelligence and allied fields for aspiring entrepreneurs, students, professionals, and academics. Okay, so this is also like we need to see. Let's see the solution to this question. It is based on artificial intelligence, definitely. So it says why this topic was in news. So we will see this one also. Meta signs MOU with government's India AI for research and collaboration on AI. Meta, Meta is the parent company of Facebook, like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, right? So like they have changed the name. Initially they started with Facebook. Now Meta, its owner is Mark Zuckerberg. So they have signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of India, right? Related to India AI, right? For research and collaboration on AI. That's why we have asked a question on artificial intelligence, right? So let's see the solution, right? It says statement 1 is incorrect. Why? It is the National Artificial Intelligence Portal of India that we have discussed already, which was launched on May. It is Knowledge Portal, Research Organization, and Ecosystem Building Initiative. So it has nothing to do with NASA. And through the, let's say, through that article, we have got to know that Facebook company or Meta has signed a memorandum of understanding with Government of India, right? Here we have Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology as one of the partners, right, with Meta. It's not Indian Space Research Organization. It's not ISRO. So it says statement 2 is also incorrect. Why? Because it is a joint initiative by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, National E-Governance Division, and NASCOM, and it is they have done MOU with Meta. Okay, so that's why second statement was wrong. Third, it is the single central knowledge hub on artificial intelligence and allied fields for aspiring entrepreneurs, students, professionals. It aims to function as one stop portal for all AI related development in India. Okay, so that's the thing. So third statement is also incorrect, right? So you need to just go through minutely the third statement and then you need to revisit the solution to understand it better, right? So we have another question for you for discussion today. Now, this question 2019, this is related to art and culture. Okay, this is related to art and culture. It says, building Kalyan Mandapa was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of, right? So they have given Chalukya, Chandela, Rashtrakuta, Vijayanagara. Okay, so Kalyan Mandapa, right? It's this particular thing was a feature of temple construction in Vijayanagara Empire, right? Which is in present day Karnataka, right? So we will solve a question related to it. Although this question is not only related to art and culture, but it's also related to Indian economy, because the Prime Minister of India has recently, right, inaugurated a kind of pavilion, right, where let's say meetings, trade meetings can happen. So that's why it is related to economy as well. It's related to art and culture. So let's solve this question. It says it was the first religious parliament in the world, right? So here we'll see. It says with reference to Anubhava Mandapa. Okay, with reference to Anubhava Mandapa, consider the following statements. It was the first religious parliament in the world whose literal meaning is experience pavilion. This statement is right. Okay, so this statement is right. Then second, it was an academy of mystics, saints and philosophers of the Lingayat faith in the 12th century. This is also right. So we are again talking about Karnataka. Okay, so you might have heard about Vasavanna. Right, so this is related to him. We will understand through the solution more details about this. Anubhava Mantapa. Okay, so why Anubhava Mantapa? Because recently the Prime Minister of India has inaugurated, right, a kind of Mantapa. He has named it as Bharat Mantapa, right? So that's why we have asked a question from Anubhava Mantapa. So they are asking which of the statements given above is or are correct, right? We need to identify the correct statements. So both of them are correct. So correct option would be option C in our case. Option C would be the right answer in our case. So why we have asked a question on this? Because the Prime Minister of India has inaugurated International Exhibition Cum Convention Center complex at Pragati Maidan. Okay, International Exhibition Cum Convention Center in Pragati Maidan, and he has named it as Bharat Mandapam. Okay, Bharat Mandapam. So that's why we have asked the question on Anubhava Mantapam. And then, like, Kalyan Mandapam was a previous year question in UPSC Prelims exam, right? That's related to this Vijayanagara Empire. So the solution is given over here, right? You can go through it. So it is related to Bhagwan Basaveshwara. Okay, so he was a person who has, let's say, held that Anubhava Mantapa in 12th century AD itself, right? So it's been, let's say, many years, right? 12th century CE means AD. C means AD. Then BC was, let's say, before Christ. Okay, so it is also referred as CE or AD. That's the thing. Then we have another question. This is question number 9. We'll go through the previous year question, then we'll solve this question. It says, why does the government of India promote the use of neem-coated urea in agriculture? You might have heard about neem-coated urea, and that year in 2016, the Economic Survey also mentioned about neem-coated urea. And then they have asked a question in the prelims exam. So there was significance of neem-coated urea. Urea acts as a fertilizer. And farmers use it to, let's say, to increase their productivity in their crops, right? Urea has, let's say, major, we do have different types of urea. One is known as NPK, right? It has NPK. NPK means it has nitrogen, it has phosphorus, it has potassium, right, as part of it. So in this question they have asked, why does government of India promote the use of neem-coated urea? It is promoted because neem coating slows down the rate of dissolution of the urea in the soil. Slowly and gradually it dissolutes, so it becomes more effective for the soil to absorb the urea and also let's say use it for more productivity of the crop. Now we will solve a question, right, on the same topic. Why? Because recently urea gold was in news. Okay, recently urea gold was in news. We are going to read this question and solve. Recently the Prime Minister of India launched urea gold. Okay, Prime Minister of India has launched urea gold. We will understand what is this. It is a new variety of urea fertilizer that is helpful for Indian farmers. What are the benefits of urea gold? So in the question they have asked about what are the benefits. They have given 3 statements and we need to identify which of them are correct. Okay, which of them are correct. Benefits of urea gold, because it was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India or launched by the Prime Minister of India. Statement 1, it says the use of urea gold instead of conventional urea fertilizer will address potassium deficiencies in the soil. Okay. So this statement is wrong because it does not address the potassium deficiencies. It addresses, let's say, sodium deficiencies, I guess, or sodium or phosphorus deficiency. Okay, not the potassium one. So that's why statement 1 is incorrect. Second, urea gold reduces the consumption of fertilizer and enhances crop quality. Okay. Urea gold reduces the consumption of fertilizer and what it does, it enhances the crop quality. Apart from this, urea gold fertilizer is more economical and efficient than neem coated urea. Okay, it is more economical and efficient than neem coated urea. Both these statements are right. So how many of them are right? Only 2, because first statement is incorrect. Okay, first statement is incorrect. So we will quickly see why first statement is incorrect. Right here in the question they have asked about whether it helps in addressing the potassium thing. So here you see, what is Urea Gold launched by PM Modi in Rajasthan, Sikar ahead of polls explained. Okay, it is a new variety of urea that is coated with sulfur, which is expected to address sulfur deficiencies in the soil. Okay, it is going to address sulfur deficiency, not the potassium deficiency. So it was in news. Okay, it is going to address sulfur deficiency in the soil, not potassium deficiency. Okay, so that's why first statement is incorrect. We have given the solution. You can go through it in your free time. Then we have the last question for the day, question number 10. On one side we have, let's say, previous year question. On the other side we have a new question. So we will go through the previous year question first. It says, athlete's foot is a disease caused by, okay, athlete's foot is a disease caused by fungus. It is a fungal problem. So let's say those athletes, I mean, like, who run for longer duration, what they do, they wear shoes for a long time, right? And they do practice in the field. Because of shoes for a long time, the let's say leg does not receive air, and what happens, like, like sweating happens, like, in the between the, what we say, fingers of the leg, and, like, it starts, let's say, creating fungal problems. So this athlete's foot is a fungal problem. It's a fungal disease, and, like, there are antifungal medications for let's say treating a patient with this athlete's foot. Okay, so correct answer is option B in this case, right? Here, although they have mentioned option D, but the correct answer is option B, I think. Then we are going to go through this. Okay, we are going to go through this. This says, consider the following statements about the Fragile X syndrome. What? Fragile X syndrome. So it is an inherited genetic disease transmitted from parent to their children. Okay, recently, so I'll talk about the recent context, then we are going to solve this. This Fragile X syndrome was recently in news. There was, let's say, an image in the Hindu newspaper a few days back, and on the day of, let's say, World Fragile X Syndrome Day, there was a day that was celebrated. Many people have come to India Gate, and they wanted to raise awareness among people about the Fragile X syndrome. So that's why we have asked this question. Okay, so let's go through it. So it is an inherited genetic disease transmitted from parents to their children. Yes, definitely it is an inherited genetic disease. Generally what happens, a person having Fragile X syndrome, that person actually, like, faces difficulty in social recognition, in the sense, like, he tends to forget the things. He tends to have difficulty in creating, let's say, social relationship with people. He faces difficulty in, let's say, recalling the things. He has abnormality in, let's say, like, bodily posture or movement also. So this is a genetic disease which is, let's say, transmitted from parents to their children. It can be inherited by the, let's say, offspring or children. So this statement is right. Second statement, it says, it is generally known as Martin-Bell syndrome. Okay, this is a technical information. Although this information is right, it is known as Martin-Bell syndrome. What happens in case of Fragile X syndrome? Okay, I'll talk about it. Right, what happens in case of Fragile X syndrome? In case of Fragile X syndrome, if, let's say, parent is male, okay, if he has the Fragile X syndrome, so from him it will pass on to the daughter. Okay, it will pass on to the daughter. If, let's say, like, male parent has Fragile X syndrome, if female parent, okay, if female parent have Fragile X syndrome, so it will pass on to boys, okay, or the girl. I mean, like, girl means it can pass on to the son or to the daughter. This is known as, let's say, like, this is part of Fragile X syndrome. Then we have another statement. It says it is caused by defect in the FMR1 gene located in the X chromosome. This is also very technical. However, this statement is also right. So all the three statements are right in this case. Okay, all the three. So correct answer would be option C. All the three are right. All right. So you can go through the solution also. I have already discussed like why we have asked a question on this. World Fragile X Day shines light on intellectual disability. Okay. So there was a let's say awareness campaign in the India Gate for it. Okay. So that's why I mean like we have asked a question on this. Solution is given. You can download this from your, let's say, from the YouTube description, and also keep attending these lectures on a regular basis, because like this will create a kind of regularity in you. Consistency is the key for qualifying the UPSC CSE examination. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.